All right, people. Hey, Calvin Dean here with the Calvin Dean Show. We're going to look at week 2. Now, this is really a special show, okay? Because this show is blind, meaning this show is before the first game of the season, which is tonight in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium. The Los Angeles Rams, the world champion Los Angeles Rams, are actually playing the Buffalo Bills. Now, listen to my show from last week and you'll get who actually won, who I predicted who will win. And I'm going to go right now into week 2. Week 2, Thursday Night Football. Now, Thursday Night Football, we have the Chargers. Yes, the Chargers going into Kansas City. Wow, what a game. Now, I had the Chargers losing the first game against the Raiders, but this game is going to be epic because the Kansas City Chiefs I had in the first game of the season beating the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona, okay? Now, I mean, it's Kyler Murray and company, you know? The funny thing is that this game is going to be epic. I mean, epic. Haybear is going to be there. Mahomes, I think whoever has the ball last, is going to win this game. And I'm going to call an upset on this game. I mean, Kansas City is definitely favored, not by much, but they are favored. But the upset special will be Thursday Night Football in Kansas City. The Chargers, yes, the Los Angeles Chargers. People are going to love me in Los Angeles, right? Yeah. The Los Angeles Chargers will beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City next Thursday Night Football. It is going to be an epic game. I'm going to tell you, there's going to be so many touchdowns in this game. Seriously, guys, it's going to be a fun game to watch. Just like tonight's game is going to be a fun game to watch with the Bills coming into SoFi Stadium and playing the Buffalo Bills. Anyway, the next game is on a Sunday, of course. The Dolphins are coming into the Ravens. Now, remember this. The first game of the season, the Dolphins were hosting the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots, right? And I called the Dolphins winning that game, right? Now, the next game the Dolphins are playing, they're going into Baltimore. I mean, going up to Baltimore and playing them in Baltimore, the Dolphins. And this is where you're going to see what Tua is all about, right? Because they're going to play the Baltimore Ravens, and they're going to get beaten by the Baltimore Ravens. The second game of the season, the Dolphins will end up 1-1 after this game. The Lamar Jackson, now as of today, today is this September 8th, right? The Lamar Jackson has given the Baltimore Ravens, has given the Baltimore Ravens up until tomorrow night to earn out a contract. Now, I mean, I guess he's been really searching for some really great money. He wants a lot of guaranteed money. I mean, look at Deshaun Watson, guaranteed $230 million. Well, I know no team's going to do that. They're just not going to do that, guys. But Lamar Jackson is holding out for that ultimate contract. And I'm telling you this, if the Baltimore Ravens don't iron out a contract this season, because Lamar said if he doesn't have a contract by the beginning of the season, contract negotiations end and it'll happen next season. And that is bad it could be bad and good for Lamar Jackson, and plus it could be bad and good for the Baltimore Ravens, right? So let's just say I've predicted that this year that the Lamar Jackson will definitely win the MVP. I said that in my first show. I'm saying it again. I think he will win the MVP, and I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to make it to the Super Bowl. That was my prediction last week. This week, I have the same prediction, same exact prediction, but the thing of it is, if he does not sign a contract by tomorrow night, And let's say he does win the MVP. Let's say he does make it to the Super Bowl. Oh, my. The Baltimore Ravens are in trouble when it comes to contract because he will get a very, very large contract. It would probably be the largest contract for a quarterback in the history of the NFL. And, man, if I was the Baltimore Ravens, I would iron out a contract before next year because then they're going to be paying. Now, on the other hand, it could be not beneficial for Lamar Jackson. There's a reason why. He could get hurt, right? And that would be bad things for Lamar, So, there's pros and there's cons. But in all reality, the way Lamar Jackson plays, he doesn't really get hit. He definitely gets out of the way of a lot of tacklers, and he knows how to do that. He knows how to juke and get out of bounds and not take that big hit. And I think that, and plus, he's been working on his passes. Expect Mr. Andrews, yes, Mr. Andrews, the tight end, to definitely work on this game. He's going to probably have around 12 catches this game. And, Dolphins, they're just not going to have an answer. Now, they had an answer last year for Lamar. They had an all-out blitz, and Lamar didn't know what it was doing. But when that all-out blitz was occurring, this was in Miami. This is going to be in Baltimore. A little bit different. And I'm telling you something, there's a different offensive coordinator, and Lamar Jackson will beat, the Baltimore Ravens will beat the Miami Dolphins in this game. The next game, we're going into the Cleveland Browns. Now, we had Cleveland Browns going into the Carolina Panthers last week, playing their arch nemesis, Baker Mayfield. Baker, the coach is all over Baker. He just thinks that he is just amazing. He knows how to push the ball down the field. He likes that he's aggressive, but he's careful and aggressive. I don't know how you can be careful and aggressive at the same time. I guess you can. And not make some stupid mistakes. That's what he was trying to get at. Now, Baker, I had the Cleveland Browns eking out a win over the Carolina Panthers last week. And this week, guess who's coming into town? Yes, the helpless New York Jets. Sorry, Bill. Sorry, Brian. I know you guys really love the Jets, but this is going to be their second loss of the season, 0-2. I don't see them really. I think they may go in maybe 5-12 this year, maybe 6-11. But, they're in that division, and it's a really, really hard division to win in. And this team of the Browns, they're just stacked, guys. Now, Deshaun Watson will not be playing for the first 11 games, right? Now, there's another key. Guess who's going to be playing as quarterback? Jacoby Brissett. Now, I think they can really try to make a good year to it. I'm thinking they're going to be like 5-6 or 6-5 after 11 games. And, that might bring them in the playoffs. If they're like that, then they're going to have to win out when Deshaun Watson gets back. That's really tough. I don't think the Browns are really going to make the playoffs. I really don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year, but they're going to beat the New York Jets in Cleveland. And it's going to be a great game. Great game, guys. The next game of the season is just an amazing game. Okay, you have the Washington Commanders going into Detroit. Now, last week, I had the Detroit Lions, an upset special, to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Now, the thing about this one, the Commanders, I have them losing their first game. They go into Detroit, their second game, and they're going to lose their second game. Detroit's going to be 2-0 to start the season after the second game. I'm telling you, Detroit's all of that. They're going to be 9-8 this year. I have them going into the playoffs. My family, they're like Detroit Lions. They're amazing. I feel so sorry for them. All those years, losing. But this year, mind you, 2022 season, the Detroit Lions will make the playoffs. I'm really high on the Detroit Lions this year. Not high. I think they're going to win the Super Bowl and go into the Super Bowl. I really believe that the Lions will make the playoffs this year. And then in the next game we're going to talk about, well, the Jags. I had the Jags going into Washington before. Yeah. And beating the Washington Commanders, right? Now, the Colts are coming into town. Now, this, you have to understand what went on last year, right? We had Carson Wentz going into the Jacksonville Jags, and they had to win to get in to the playoffs, right? I mean, really, the Indianapolis Colts had so much talent, but guess what? The Jacksonville Jags just rolled over them. And just Carson Wentz went bye-bye after that game. I mean, seriously. I mean, the GM, the owners are like, oh, man. But they had a lot of people talking about Carson Wentz this year. And I was just listening to some folks from Indianapolis. A lot of the receivers, and there's a difference between Carson Wentz and Matty Ice. That's Matt Ryan, right, from the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons came in from Atlanta. He's traded in, and he went to the Indianapolis Colts. And this is what they're saying. Ready? Pittman said, well, this year it's kind of amazing. We listen to Matty Ice, and we have to be at a certain place at a certain time. All the routes are there. You have to be there. And if you're not there, you're not going to be starting. On the other hand, with Carson Wentz, literally 95% of the team in Indianapolis were dissing Carson Wentz by saying, oh, we were just going out last year and just playing football and just going for it. And there was no actual plan. And there was no leadership there with Carson Wentz. With Matty Ice, it's like Tom Brady entering the Indianapolis Colts. That is what Matty Ice is. And that's why they call him Matty Ice, man. He's ice. When he's hot, he's hot. He has a great team this year. Taylor, oh my God. Now they're even saying that Taylor's not going to get that many carries. They're going to use Taylor, mind you, but they're not going to get that many carries. The Colts are going into the Jacksonville Jags. I'm sorry, Jacksonville. This will be your first loss of the season. You won your first game, but this game you're going to be facing a team that's pissed that they lost last year, the last game of the season last year against you, Jacksonville, and you made that team not make the playoffs. Jacksonville, it's not going to happen this year. It's not going to happen. You're going to lose. The Colts are going to win, and that's what it's going to be. And you know what? I heard a little bit today from the NFL Network, and they were talking about Trevor Lawrence. Now, Trevor Lawrence, I think, will have a much better year this year, much better year. I think they're going to go around 5-12. They're going to have a better season. Trust me, they will. But the season, this game, second game of the season, they're going to lose. They'll be 1-1, which is great, and the Colts will be 2-0. The next game, it's the Tampa Bay Bucks. The Tampa Bay Bucks are going into the New Orleans Saints, right? Now, the New Orleans Saints have they have Tom Brady's number. They really do. I mean, Tom doesn't do well against New Orleans. He just doesn't. I don't know why he doesn't, but he just doesn't. They have his number. Now, I have the first game of Tampa. I have Tampa winning against Dallas on a Sunday night, which is this coming Sunday. I have them winning. But on this game, they're going into New Orleans, right? And they're playing Jameis Winston. And they're playing the New Orleans Saints. And you know what? I'm going to give this one. You ready? This is a tough one. Tommy, I'm a big Tom Brady fan, as everyone knows that, right? I follow this guy. I'm a players. I don't really have a favorite team. I just don't. But I have favorite players. I love Tom Brady. I think he's great. There's a lot of other players I'm just all in on, right? This game is going to be a tough one. I just have a strange feeling that the Tampa Bay Bucks are going to lose this game. Sorry, Tommy. Don't hate me. I think you're going to get beat this game. And it's going to be a tight one. But, it's just that defense, I don't know why. They just push it up the middle and they get Tommy all the time. This is going to be the one that Tom Brady will lose. They'll be 1-1 at the end of this game. The next game, I have the Carolina Panthers. They just lost to the Cleveland Browns. Now, I told everyone it's going to be a close game. The first game is going to be a close game. They're going to lose to the Cleveland Browns. Now they're going into the New York Football Giants Stadium. The reason why I laugh is that it's New York Football Giants. New York Football Giants since 2017, they have lost. Ready? They have a losing season since 2017. Their record is just terrible. I mean, terrible. It's an embarrassment. I mean, the New York Football Giants they have been an embarrassment. I think they're going to be an embarrassment again this year. They're trying. They had the first 2 picks in the NFL draft this last year. Great picks, Thibodeau, the offensive line. They shored that up, but they're still weak, and they had to give away some people because of salary. And of course, I look at the quarterback. I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for Jones because think about it, guys. He's running for his life. He's always getting blindsided on his backside, which is the left tackle. He's a right-handed quarterback, right? And I just think that they're just not there. Saquon Barkley, he's back. I don't know how good he's going to be. Think about it. Saquon Barkley was a stud. His rookie season, he was all that and then some. Came in from Penn State, was just amazing, and then he got hurt. And then when he came back last year, he just didn't look like the same Saquon Barkley. And, it's sad. It's sad, but it's true. And I just don't see Saquon, coming back. Maybe this year. I hope so. I hope the guy proves me wrong. I really do. I don't think he will, but I hope he proves me wrong. That offensive line of the New York Giants is just terrible. Now the Panthers, on the other hand, they're going to be smarting about, like I told you last week. Last week's game, I really thought it was going to be a very close game with the Browns, and the Browns are going to pull it out. Now, this game, the Carolina Panthers are coming into into New York, playing the New York Football Giants, and the Panthers, yes, the Carolina Panthers with Baker Mayfield are going to beat the New York Football Giants in New York. And, wow, New York, I don't know what's going to happen with that team. I just haven't seen them in a winning spot in so long. Them and the New York Jets, they have to be feeling it. Think about it. You have the Buffalo Bills in New York, upstate New York, that are just killing it, and they're even favored to win the Super Bowl, go all the way. It's the Buffalo Bills. And then you have the New York Jets and the New York Football Giants. And they're just 2 terrible teams. Now, I think the Jets are better than the Giants this year. They have much better talent, but their quarterback Wilson's hurt, and they got Flacco, who's 90. He's starting on the Jets. I don't know, guys. But tell you the truth, it's a sad day to be a New York Jet or Giant fan. Jets, I think, will do better this year. Giants, I just gave up on the Giants. I'm sorry, guys. That's just my opinion. Don't hate me. The next game I'm going to talk about is the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots, I have losing their first game in Miami because Belichick he's terrible in Miami. Going into the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, mind you, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers not even making the playoffs. I have Tomlin having his first season of a losing season this year. And now I have the Patriots going into the Steelers. The Patriots are 0-1 going into the Steelers are limping. I have a strange feeling the Patriots are going to turn it around. It's going to be one of those ugly defensive games, and the New England Patriots are definitely going to pull this one out. Belichick is going to pull, and then the Steelers, man. I'm sorry, Tomlin. I'm sorry. You're starting Mitchell Trubisky. Think about it. Why did Mitchell Trubisky go from one team to another team? Why? Because he's Mitchell Trubisky, okay? I mean, it was like the same year when he came out, it was Deshaun Watson. And the Bears picked Mitchell Trubisky over Deshaun Watson. You know what Deshaun Watson did when he went into Houston that year. He brought him into the playoffs. So, it's just, he is who he is. He's a veteran. He's a runner. He's very athletic. But he's not a top 10 quarterback. He just isn't. I don't think even a top 20 quarterback, to be honest. And to be able to bring a team to at least a 9-8 record, you got to have a great quarterback. I have the Raiders with Carr going 9-8. I have the Kansas City Chiefs going 9-8. I have the Denver Broncos going 10-7. Think about that. Think about all those quarterbacks. That's the records I have. The NFL this year is so stacked with so many great talented players. But Mitchell Trubisky, you're that player, but you aren't a Lamar Jackson. You're not a Patrick Mahomes. You're not a Dak Prescott. You're not an Aaron Rodgers, and you're not the GOAT. I mean, I could go on and on, right? Derek Carr, you're not even a Russell Wilson. I'm sorry. I don't think that Mitchell Trubisky will be starting for too long. Now, Pickett's, he looks great. He looks good. The kid from Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh Panthers, and the number one choice that they made in the draft. He looked good. He looked really good. I just think he'll be probably starting in mid-season. I don't think Mitchell Trubisky will be starting for long, especially with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Patriots going into Pittsburgh, beating Pittsburgh. Next game, we have the Falcons. Yes, the Falcons coming into SoFi Stadium. Now, this is the second home game. SoFi Stadium, the Rams are playing the Atlanta Falcons, which got spanked last week. That's my prediction. And this week, second game of the season, the Rams, like I predicted last week, I predicted the Rams would lose their Thursday night football game. Now, that right there, that's a tough pick. Now it's the 8th that I'm filming this. I don't even know who won. My next show, I will go over all the games. Seriously, guys, I'm going to go over all the games, injuries. I'll do all that. Okay? But this game, I'm calling, it's not that hard of a game to call. Now, it's the Rams are hosting the Falcons. The Rams will be 1-1 after this game because they're going to beat the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons will be 0-2, and this won't be much of a game. Just won't be much of a game. It's going to be a blowout. Trust me, it will be a blowout, and Los Angeles Rams will have their first win of the season. The next game, well, we had the 49ers, right, last week going into Chi-Town and playing the Chicago Bears. Now they're playing with Trey Lance, right? Now, Nikki's Niners. Nikki, I know you're loving this. You probably, I predicted that the 49ers would beat the Bears in Chicago, and it would be a close game. I did say that. And, I just don't see Trey Lance winning the job. I just don't think he actually won the job yet as a quarterback. And why would they keep Jimmy G on the bench, right? And, it doesn't make any sense. It just makes no sense whatsoever other than having a really great backup quarterback. Now, mind you, I think the San Francisco 49ers are smart, but it just makes you wonder about Trey Lance. Think about it. When Patrick Mahomes, right, was and the Kansas City Chiefs, right, and he was going to come in the next year and he start playing, right, and what happened? Starting quarterback went to Washington, right, and guess what? Mahomes took over the team and he went to the Super Bowl and he won. But think about this one. Mahomes, well, Trey Lance is no Mahomes. He just isn't. And everyone has a big question mark about Trey Lance. They just do, I mean, even the team does. Because why would they keep Jimmy G on the roster? Why? I just don't get that. Well, I do get it. Trey Lance ain't doing it. He's not wowing he's wowing the coaches on one throw, and he's not wowing them on other throws, and he's just not getting it. And that's the reason why they have Jimmy G in the second spot. And I just don't think that Trey Lance will be starting in San Francisco for the full 17 games that they're going to be playing. I just don't see it happening. This game, the Seattle Seahawks are coming into San Francisco, and Seattle Seahawks, they just don't have a team, guys. And that offensive line, I mean, they're going to be exposed against the San Francisco 49ers with Bosa. Oh, my God. I feel so sorry for the Seattle Seahawks. I don't even think they're going to score this game. It's going to be a complete, utter blowout. San Francisco over the Seattle Seahawks in San Francisco's second game of the season, and they'll be 2-0. But mind you, they're going to be a question mark about a 2-0. All right. The first game is going to be hard. The second game, they're going to blow them out because of the defense. And they're going to put Trey Lance, the defense is going to put Trey Lance in some great scoring positions. And who knows? I mean, Jimmy G might even come in the second half and just play because it's such a, because they blew out Seattle so much, and they'll bring in the second string quarterback, right? And that you might see Jimmy G in the second half just playing and getting his feet wet, But anyway, San Francisco over the Seattle Seahawks. The next game I have the Bengals. Now I have the Bengals winning their first game, beating the Pittsburgh Steelers, mind you. Pittsburgh, I mean, after the second game, Pittsburgh's going to be 0-2. And I have the Cincinnati Bengals coming into the Dallas Cowboys. Now that's a great, Burrows against Dak Prescott. Now, the only thing that's hampering the Dallas Cowboys is their offensive line. Now, they just signed Peters onto the as a guard onto the Dallas Cowboys practice squad. He's not up to, he's not hurt, but he's not up to the strength of playing NFL football right now. So they put him on the practice squad. I don't know if he'll be ready by this game or not. Who knows? But it's the Cincinnati Bengals coming into Dallas. Now, Cincinnati, after beating Pittsburgh Steelers, they're going to be high. They're going to be really on their game. But they're coming into the Dallas Cowboys after Dallas losing their first game at home, right, against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Now the Bengals come into town. How would you like the Dallas Cowboys? Think about it. You have the Tampa Bay Bucks, right? And then you have, the Bengals, who was in the Super Bowl last year. That's just what a schedule. First two games, it's a really tough schedule for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if the line is going to be holding up. They're down receivers. I don't see them lose. I think they'll be 0-2 their first two games. I really do. I think the Bengals are going to be 2-0 at the end of this, and the Cowboys are going to lose their second game in a row. Wow. Wow, that's terrible. The next game, we have the Broncos. Now, the Broncos are going to be on Monday night this coming week. They're going into Seattle because, I mean, think about it. If that trade didn't happen, do you really think that the Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks would be playing on a Monday Night Football? Come on. I mean, it's all about this, guys, and knowing advertising. And that was a brilliant move by the NFL. Hats off to the commish for getting that team, that actual game, Monday night game, where Denver goes into Seattle, and Seattle traded they traded Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos for what? Drew Lock? Now ask me one thing: is Drew Lock starting? No, he's not. Geno Smith is. Geno Smith is starting over Drew Lock. And they're saying it's because Drew Lock got COVID and he missed out a week. Come on, man. Really? I just can't listen to coaches brag about a guy who didn't make the starting lineup and is actually playing behind Geno Smith, guys. Geno Smith. Wow. That's just... and now Houston is coming into the Broncos, playing it mile high. Woo. Man, that's going to be a tough one because Houston is, they're on a rebuilding. They are rebuilding. They have that amazing quarterback from Stanford. And it's just, I don't see it happening. I really don't see it happening for the Houston Texans on this game. Russell Wilson will be on a high from blowing out his ex-team, the Seattle Seahawks, on Monday night. He's going to be so high, and he'll be lighting it up. And once again, in Denver, this is going to be a little bit closer game. I think the Houston Texans will play them closer than Seattle did. I think they have a better team than Seattle. I really do. And I think that they'll play them tougher, but Denver will win in the end. And then you'll see like a 2-minute drill at the end of the game, and you'll know why they hired Russell Wilson at this game, because Russell Wilson's going to take his second game. They'll be 2-0 after the end of this game, and the Texans will be 0-2. The next game is a great game, man. It's the Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals I have losing their first game. And wow. I just, Kyler Murray losing his first game. Man, it's such a tough game. That was such a tough game to call, but I have him losing his first game. And obviously, they have to go into Las Vegas. After losing the first game, now they have to come into Las Vegas and play the Las Vegas Raiders, who won their first game, who I predicted that would win their first game. Man, come on, man. Cardinals, oh my God. You'll be 0-2 after this game. 0-2. Because the Las Vegas Raiders will win at home and be 2-0 at the start of the season. I'm telling you, the Raiders are for real this year, guys. Derek Carr, I mean, he will be a top 5 quarterback this year. Watch his stats. Trust me, I know my stuff. Waller's back. You have Jacobs. And you have, well, come on now. We all know what happened with the Green Bay Packers sending over one of the best wideouts in the game to the Las Vegas Raiders. And, they were playing in college. Carr at Fresno State. Yeah. And I just can't see the Cardinals. They're going to be 0-2 at the end of this game. I'm having the Raiders winning this game in Vegas. Wow, that's a tough one for the Cardinals. I mean, I don't know how they're going to just come back. Hopefully, they're going to. And by the time D-Hop comes back, I don't know. It's the 6th game, right? And they might be 1-5, 2-4 by then. Who knows? Next game, the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears going into Green Bay. I mean, Chicago Bears. They lost. I have the Bears losing their first game, right, against the San Francisco 49ers in Chicago. And now after getting beat, right, they go from Chicago and they go into Green Bay. Now, Aaron Rodgers is, well, I think their defense, that Green Bay defense is going to hold Aaron Rodgers accountable. I mean, they're seriously, the Green Bay Packers defense is stout this year. It is really, really, really good. And the Bears, man, they're going to meet that defense, and that offensive line of the Bears, terrible, guys, terrible. They're saying that Justin Fields will be running around for his life all season long, and they're playing the Packers defense, which got even better this year than last. And I think the Packers defense will set it up for Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, and the Packers are going to take this one. I had them winning last week against the Arizona Cardinals, and I have the Packers winning again, 2-0, and I have the Lions 2-0 as well. So think about that one. I had the Packers losing last week to the Minnesota Vikings. Apologies. And I have the Packers. They'll be 1-1 at the end of this game. At the end of this game, guess who's going to be, well, in the league? I mean, it's going to be the Detroit Lions. It's only 2-0. It's exciting to think about that, It's just exciting, okay? Now, this game, the Sunday night game we're talking about is the Sunday night game, the Green Bay Packers and the Bears. That's a Sunday night game. We have 2 Monday night games, right? But we have 1 Sunday night game. That Sunday night game, I think the Bears are just going to, they're going to be so embarrassed with the Packers defense. I feel sorry for Justin Fields, that's for sure. Now we have 2 Monday night games, guys. 2. We have the Titans going into the Bills. Now I have the Bills winning the first game, which is tonight. I have them coming into SoFi Stadium. It's going to be a close one. I really have the Bills winning this game. Even though I have my LA Rams outfit on today, just so people in LA don't hate me. But anyway, we have the Titans, and they're coming in and they're playing the Buffalo Bills. In Buffalo, guys. I have my buddy Dean Blagg, who has let me use his mixed cocktail hour. Make sure to watch that show, guys. Every Friday night, they have 100th. This is their 100th show tomorrow. This is actually Friday, which is tomorrow. And it's their 100th show, 100, number 100. And it's going to be a fun show. Watch it. Mixed Cocktail Hour. Go to YouTube. Mixed Cocktail Hour. Watch that show. It's going to be a fun one, guys. They're going to be making drinks from 100 years ago. Yeah. You got to watch that show. It's going to be a fun one. I'm going to watch it, and I think everyone else and their brother, they have like 30,000 subscribers. Come on, man. The guy is rocking it. Thank you so much, Dean Blagg. Hats off to you, brother. Thanks for Nick. This game I'm talking about, the Monday night game, the Titans coming into Buffalo, and the reason why I mentioned Dean's, name and about mixed cocktail, his son works at a hotel, and he was telling me that the Buffalo Bills are in town playing the Los Angeles Rams, right? And all these Buffalo Bill fans came into this hotel, and they were just rowdy. Drinking. And man, upstate New York, those guys know how to party. That's all they think about is Buffalo Bill football games. There's nothing else to do in Buffalo, guys, other than go to a Buffalo Bill football game. There's nothing else to do. It's like Rochester, nothing else to do. That part of the country, that part of New York, I mean, it's like 250 miles away from New York City, right? And you know, that's all people do in upstate New York. You know, it's snowing, they stay indoors, they go to bars, they drink a lot. I mean, drink. And he was talking to me about how they were just, everybody walked into the bar and they had a Buffalo Bills jersey on. They would all go nuts. Hey, you know, it's like a new friends, you know, automatically. It's funny. It was funny. It's a great story. Yeah. But anyway, we have this game, the Titans coming into Buffalo. I don't know. I just don't have the Titans, you know, being so. I think they'll keep this close. The Titans' defense is a really good defense. Their offense is all about Derrick Henry. They lost A.J. Brown as a wideout. I think that's going to incredibly hurt them a lot. Tannehill is really pissed off. And they asked, and it was a funny thing, they had Tannehill on NFL Network, and they were asking him questions about mentoring the young kids, right? And mentoring the young quarterback that they drafted. And he sat there and goes, yeah, I'm not going to be mentoring anyone. Little salty, I would say. That's for sure, man. Wow. Here you got Jimmy G, who is such a leader. And the reason why Jimmy G has made it to the Super Bowl, well, he's won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady, right, as a backup, right? And then he's made it to a Super Bowl with this team, with the San Francisco 49ers. They lost. If they would have had that one pass against Mahomes, they would have won. He just got that one pass. It would have been such a different career for Jimmy G. But I think he still has a great career. Nikki, she loves Jimmy G. My friend up in San Francisco. Anyway, we won't get into that. But this game, I just don't see the Titans really winning this game. They have Robert Woods. They did get Robert Woods from the Los Angeles Rams, right? But Robert tore his ACL. And usually when players tear their ACL, when they're like Saquon Barkley, and I can go on and on, all the players that do tear their ACL and they come back the next year, the first year off the ACL surgery, usually I've never seen a player really excel the next year after surgery when they come back. It's something about it. It's just that ACL. I mean, nowadays I had an ACL surgery, and you can actually go your whole life without an ACL, unless, you can't be playing football or playing tennis or making lateral moves or anything like that after surgery. But, it took me a while to start running again and really feel solid, and it's the same thing with all these athletes. Robert Woods, I don't know if he's going to be solid 100%. I don't ever see an athlete, especially in the NFL, and playing at this high level. To get to that level after your injury is so hard, guys. I remember when I used to play baseball and I got hurt and I tried to come back. Man, I was spending 8 hours a day in the batting cage. 8 hours a day. And, and I would run to the batting cage, which was like 5 miles away in snow, upstate New York, Syracuse, right? And I would be in the batting cage for 8 hours, and I would take my bat. I would actually have a backpack, have a bat and everything, and with my baseball glove and everything, and I would run home after that. I literally, and it took me that much effort to get back to where I had to play, and I played in the minor leagues. But anyway, I saw myself, to get to the point where I had to get to come back was such an effort. And it's the same thing in the NFL, guys, same thing. So for Robert Woods to come back and play at that level where he was at with the Rams, I don't see that happening this year. I just don't. Robert, prove me wrong, brother. Prove me wrong. I don't think you will. Just take care of yourself. Don't try too many things. Like, look at Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham, he's lately that he's torn 2 ACLs now, 2. And he's talking about coming back like November, December, maybe, because he tore his ACL in the Super Bowl last year. He was having a great game, 2 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown. God he was on fire. Cincinnati couldn't cover him. It was all over the place, man. It's just like what is going to happen in the Raiders game. The Raiders game. This Devontae Adams, man. That's the Packers trading Devontae Adams to the Las Vegas Raiders, and I mean they have such a big hole to fill. The Packers. That's why that defense is so important with the Packers. And oh my God, Lazard today they had mentioned they don't think he's going to be playing this game. He got stepped on. Alan Lazard got stepped on in practice, and they don't think he's going to be playing this coming Sunday. I mean, who's going to play as a wideout? Right? They have a couple rookies, Doubt and Watson, but I mean, oh my God. And Tunyon, they don't even know if Tunyon's going to play. Tunyon's their tight end. They're going to have a tough time. The Packers are going to have a tough time winning this year. Like I said, Minnesota could win. I think the Packers will have a 10-7 season. Minnesota 9-8. But it could be the opposite on that one. I'm high on Minnesota this year. I'm very high on Minnesota. Getting back to the Titans game, I know guys will go off and just start talking, but I'm telling you something. The Titans, I just don't see it happening. I think the Titans are going to lose in Buffalo. Buffalo will be 2-0. Now, every analyst in the NFL is predicting the Buffalo Bills to go all the way. And man, after the second game of the season, they're going to be 2-0. Wow. The second game. Now, mind you, I have the Green Bay Packers after second game being 1-1, right? Now, think about this one. The second game on Monday night, right? The Vikings are going into Philadelphia, right? I have the Philadelphia Eagles losing their first game against the Detroit Lions, right? That was my upset special first week. Monday Night Football. I have the Minnesota Vikings going into Philadelphia. Now, it's tough to win in Philadelphia. It is really tough. It's outdoors. And, I mean, but they have so many weapons. But that offensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles, they're just stout. And they have that running game going on. Sanders, they have Jalen Hurts. Then they have the great wideouts. They have Smith. They have A.J. Brown. I mean, really, guys. And they shored up the defense. Only question marks about the Philadelphia Eagles is the defensive backfield. Now, that's a huge problem, right? Because what? They have Rager now, the Minnesota Vikings, got he was the 22nd pick in the 2020 draft, and they picked him before Jefferson. And now Jefferson and Rager are on the same team, Minnesota Vikings, and they have Thielen. And I mean, they have a backfield that is just amazing. I'm telling you something. The Minnesota Vikings look so good this year. They put Cousins on a 1-year contract. They bring in a new coach, bring in a new regime. Minnesota's going to be tough, guys. Going to be tough. This is going to be a tough game for Minnesota because Philadelphia is going to be smarting after the first game loss in Detroit. And they're going to be really playing hard. But I just don't see the Jalen Hurts pulling it out on this one. I think Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings, I think they're going to be 2-0. This is the last game of the second week. The Minnesota Vikings will go into Philadelphia on Monday Night Football. Ready? And they will beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles will be 0-2 the first 2 games of the season. And the Vikings will be 2-0 along with, ready, the Detroit Lions. Wow. And guess who's going to be in third place after the second game of the season? I'm sorry, Aaron. You're going to be 1-1, brother. You're going to be in like third place after the second game of the season. But, man, it's going to be a fun season, guys. I want to thank huge props to Mixed Cocktail Hour. Guys, you got to watch their show on this coming Friday. And it's their 100th episode. And it's going to be fun. I'm setting my timer out. I'm on my watch. I'm on my iPhone. I'm going to make sure to tune in. They have a live show. Tune in, guys. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff going on in that show. Thank you to Dean Blagg, that's for sure. And, hey, guys, thanks for just tuning in. Remember, comment, subscribe, okay, and turn on your notifications because I'm going to be giving away hats from the NFL Network, right, NFLshop.com, and I'm going to give away $100 bills every other game, every other, like the first game of the season, the second week of the season, the third week of the season, first week of the season. $100 goes to the best comment and a baseball cap of their favorite team. And, $100 is a gift certificate from Amazon. I just want to let you guys know that. Okay, thanks so much for tuning in to the Calvin Dean Show. Take it from there. Take care, guys.